Hello, beautiful people, future me. This week it seems like we are taking execute program, so let's continue in it. First is typing exercise for 5 minutes, as you might already know. So let's do just that. Quirks. Pre quirks. There was a lot of typos, so I'm interested in 10. 10%, you see, and now I feel like it's too much. That was not the case some time ago. I feel kinda sick, so I wonder if that affects my performance in here. Oh well. Um, so well, we have 3 things to choose from: SQL, JavaScript, TypeScript. So let's choose randomly. So JS, I can already know which one it will be. Alright, JavaScript it is. Continue. So I have some reviews to do. 19. Is none. This is true. Numbers. 3a const of numbers. Result push. Push result will be undefined. 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 A. Undefined A. Yep. Number is, and so this is false. False. Write a function that takes a user and returns a login count object for them, mapping their name to their login count. Use a computed property to construct the object. Our pre-written code will call your function for multiple users. Computed property. I did that recently, I think. And I think that will be return, and here will be the object, and we'll say here user.name, and here will be user.login count, like so. And of course we will be so nice and close our function. Username, all looks good to me. Let's see what he thinks about it. Okay, so that's correct. Now we have Amir, Mrs. Fluff, Paris, H. Okay, so we have a user and we put in cat name, city, H. I forgot how this is called, but anyway. User.name is Amir, and user age is 36. What was this name? What was this called? What was the name of this thing? I don't know. Write a function that writes out a sum the long way. And we will be using template literals to build a string including the 2 numbers and the final sum. Alright, so return x, so plus this will be y equals to, and here we will have expression, and that will be x plus y, and we'll close the string literal, template literal, and yeah, we need to close the function. Now it looks good. Okay. Function add And we are passing in like they call it the rest parameters, but I think this one was called like spread operator. I mean, if it's here, I think it's called spread operator. And if it would be here, it would be a rest parameter or something like that. So this will return us free. Const user equals name. Name is not defined, right? So this will be error. No. Yeah, it is. Okay. So const name Amir. There's an email. Oh my god. Okay, email equals hi. New lines. This is okay. So new line space, two spaces. Hi Amir. Yes. Comma. Excuse me. We've updated your. I think it's that's true. Delete user. Oh yeah, this is error. We cannot do that. Number is then this is true. Add a name setter to this object. It should use push to append the name to the names list. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. I'm back. And what we are doing, so add a name setter to this object. It should use push to append the name to the list. Okay, so uh, set names. It will take name. It will do this, and that will be names push push name like so. Comma dot go. Oh my god. Should be set name. Okay. Oh well. None is non-undefined. This is false, I believe. Oh, wait a moment. This is not number undefined. This is non-undefined. And this is true. Yeah, that's the bad one. And this one will be 1 plus 1 equals 2. So write a function sum that sums numbers. It should take the numbers as rest parameters. If no arguments are given, it should return 0. So sum, and it take a, we will call it, and this will be the body. So if no given, so if uh, if r will return a dot equal to 0, then return 0. Otherwise, we will reduce a dot reduce, and there will be a callback function. This will be ACC accumulator and current. It will be ACC plus current, and the first initial value will be 0, and that should work, and it works. There must be like better way to do sum over array, I'm sure. Why it's still loading? Why is it minimum sum? Yeah, that is what I wrote, but it looks like this is the way to do it. Okay. Oh well. I can't log in Betty. Okay, so this is add a name to getter to name getter. It should return whatever to username. Okay. So user uh, get name will take nothing, but will return everything. Return username, like so. This looks good. Function add many numbers to add. Okay, this is error because the rest parameter rest operator cannot be the first. It needs to be last every single time. So this is error, my friend. Define x equals, okay, so we are using the strict mode, and x equals 1 is a global variable, and that is a no-no in strict mode, so error. Now take second chance. Name setter, okay, set name, it will take nothing, it will output everything. Come on. Okay, I'll go to comma. And what we want to do, we want push on names. So this names push, and I will n, we'll push n go. Oh, cool. And we are done with this. Three things to choose from, so we will do it randomly. Free it was, right? Yeah, it's free. Okay. Shorthand methods. Modern JavaScript allows the definition of methods right inside an object literal. Yeah. User.name mirror. Methods defined in this way are called shorthand methods. Okay. Now we've already seen shorthand properties, which let us say name. This feature is related to. Oh, yeah, that is when you are setting the variable name. Okay. Well, there's no deeper relation between them than that. Shorthand methods have a this that refers to the parent object. We can access its properties by doing this, some property name. Address string, so this will return where is France. Is there a space? Yeah, there is a comma and space, which I overlooked. Shorthand methods can also call other shorthand methods. That's pretty nice. Add a new volume method to this object using JavaScript's shorthand method syntax. The volume is the base area times the height. We've provided an existing base area method for you to call volume, so volume and it will do nothing. We will return this dot uh, base area times this dot width depth height. Okay, good deal. As always, JavaScript's this has some sharp edges, so this isn't the full story. We'll see details of that in later lessons. And we finished. So 2 to go. Oh really? It always chooses the, the last one. Basic array destructuring. Historically, working with arrays and objects was clunky in JavaScript. For example, suppose that we want to extract the first 3 elements in an array into separate variables. So you would do... Oh really? They used to do that? So that was const A, const B, C, okay, and we will get this will be A, B, C. It gets the job done, but it's not nice to read. Fortunately, there's a nicer syntax now. The next example does the same thing as the previous one, but notice how much shorter the ABC assignment is. Show me. I see. So this will be A, B, C, and we will close. This feature is called destructuring. An array has some structure, certain values at certain indexes. We use this syntax to unpack or remove the structure to access the individual pieces. In other words, we destructure the array. Use array destructuring to extract the first two user names in the list. Put them in the first user and second user variables. User, user. Oh my god. Here we go. Assignments with let, const, and the legacy var syntax can all use the structuring. Is there someone which cannot? So this is the let. This is var, and const we already said. uh, we already saw. We can skip array indexes by leaving them out of the structuring syntax entirely. Okay, so this will be A, C. When we skip indexes, it's called sparse array destructuring. The dictionary definition of sparse is thinly dispersed or scattered. We use sparse in many programming situations where a structure is only partially populated. If we try to destructure a value that doesn't have a structure, like null or undefined, we'll get an error. You can type error when a code example will throw an error. If the object has too few indexes, we'll get undefined for those indexes. We can provide defaults when destructuring. If the destructure key doesn't exist, we'll get the default instead. This is useful to avoid getting undefined, like we did in the example above. Note the new equal sign syntax into the structuring below. So D is D, D is DE. How can I spell that? This is C, this is D. Oh, da -da -da, letters. Okay, so this will be different because here we have the value at T, and that is D. Elements with and without default can be mixed. In the example below, D has a default, but E doesn't. If the matched array has no value for E, it will get the value undefined. So DE, so now we will have D undefined. We can collect any renaming elements using ... This is similar to the rest parameters. that we've already seen in function definitions. Instead of collecting the extra arguments passed to a function, this dot 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 operator will collect any array elements that weren't matched to a variable. Rest parameters are always returned to us in an array, even if there's only one of them. Mhm. So others will be an array. And this time it is B and C. And now the others is C. Use a single array destruction operation 2. Put the first and second user names into first user and second user variables, and put the rest of the user names into an other user's variable. So const, and we will have first user, then we will have a second user, and then we will have the other users. Like so. Oh, I always forgot this. Names. Now that works. We can imagine the structuring with dot 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 other C as well. That would mean put the last element in C and all other elements in others. However, that's not supported and will throw an error. You can type error blah blah blah. So error strings can also be destructured into arrays. When we do that, we get the string's individual characters. JavaScript has no dedicated character type, so characters will be represented as strings with length 1, like quote a quote, quote a 8 quote. So ABC, those letters, B is B. We can use a rest element to get all of a string's characters, regardless of the string's length. Chars2 is 0, 1, 2, that is I, and we are finished. And it seems like we are 2 minutes over our limit, so that means we are done. Done is better than perfect every single time, so bye beautiful people, see you next time.